Part 4, the execution part. This is still in the B part of walking through our marketing plan, how to write a marketing plan. We're now at step number 4, or the fourth element of 7. This is part of marketing management, marketing plan, or marketing planning. I'm the lecturer Thorsten Strauss. My contact information is in the back. Now we have a 7-step and 7-part marketing plan. We talked about introduction, analysis, strategy. Now we're talking about executing the strategy, making it happen to get from where we are to where we want to be. And what does that entail? And then we conclude with financial and risk, and then the add-on of additional stuff. The execution part is really about the classical 4 to 7 P's. So I will talk to you about the 4 to 7 P's, and it is about communicating them. When you have basically what marketing is all about, the deciding of the strategy, then the creation of the value, which is then here in the 4 to 7 P's, the communication of that and delivering it. Now in a marketing plan, you not only have to determine what you're going to do, but you also have to talk about the implementation. So for me, it is very critical that whatever you determine you will be doing, that is caught in an implementation plan. You cannot say you will do something, but you do not show what, when, who, where, how this actually gets done. What are the goals and KPIs you are going to measure with? What's your target? What's your action? And who's responsible? So every part of the plan must be reflected in the implementation table and timeline. You can put implementation and control, or KPIs, close together, and then you can have as a second tool or third tool a rollout or Gantt chart to indicate your plan. So let's get right into it. What are the 4 P's? The 4 P's are product, price, promotion, and place. You probably heard about that. It's a very simplified version of marketing. What does that actually talk about? It talks about the things you can actually use and do as a marketeer in order to create value for the customer. It is not all the P's. The 3 P's that are missing is people, process, and physical evidence. That is really oriented towards services marketing, and I leave that out here for now. I will maybe add that later. Under product, we can have variety, we can have quality, we can have design, features, a brand name, packaging, services, warranties. All these things drive value in the eye of the customer. All these things in a combination can be used to create value, and that is to create and execute the plan in order to achieve the strategic goals. The same thing, of course, with price, list price, discounts, allowances, payment periods, credit terms. These are the types of tools that you can utilize in marketing to do what you need to do. If you have a low cost strategy, then definitely price and discounts are the key drivers of your strategy. It cannot be variety, quality, design, and so on. We're coming then to promotion, that is advertisement and promotion, personal selling or publicity. And there's a marketing mix or promotion mix, communication mix with that. The marketing mix includes all of these P's basically. Then the communication mix would be what type of communication elements and plan do you have in the communication mix. The next thing is also very important. Which channels do you use to get to the market? What's your coverage? What assortments, locations, inventory, transport? All critical marketing elements. Most people really think only about promotion. When they hear marketing, they think advertisement, they think communication, and they think that is all there is. As a former marketing product manager, I can tell you that product and price is a big part of all manufacturing and many B2B companies, and also many B2C companies actually, that are in goods. So product and price is really still the cornerstone, the tangibles, and the traditional part of marketing. Next to the 4 to 7 P's, how you can utilize them, is the communication. And here I'm showing you different communication models. You might have heard of the AIDA model. That is actually what was first mentioned at the turn of the century, so it's quite old. it's nothing new there, but it is really prevailing because it's simple. You have a attention, then you come to interest, creating interest, people come to you, they create desire and action. And what's really interesting is that all models have a cognitive stage of recognizing and understanding, an affective state where there's an emotional bonding, and a behavioral state. So you can say a stage. So you can say the purpose of communication is make somebody understand what you're trying to say, make them emotionally care about it, and then change their behavior accordingly. And that's really the fundamental parts of communications. Other models would be the communications model, where you talk about exposure, you're talking about listings, you're talking about impressions, you talk about reception, you talk about cognitive response again. Do people understand it? Do people memorize it? Do people learn it and recall it? There's an attitude part. What's your attitude towards it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What's your intention then? Do you want to investigate more? Are you going to take action? And then is the behavior following the intention? One part that you probably have heard is IMC, Integrated Marketing Communications, and that is nothing other than, instead of doing just one thing, you're integrating and going about all the different marketing channels and methodologies that you can utilize in communications. They're either you spread them across them, or you utilize them to reinforce each other, and that is what it is now used. Of course, you don't use the same type of advertisement on a billboard than online, or utilize a public relation type of message on an online person-to-person chat type of message or personal selling message. You customize and you adopt, but it as the total picture, it reinforces each other, and that is what IMC is all about, to make a bigger total impression than the sum of the parts. And then coming to implementation and control, those are very closely connected. You can utilize the balanced scorecard, third generation, as a methodology by Kaplan and Norton. I think they're very, very good. Basically what it is, you have to determine what gets done, who does it, when does it get done, the staging, that's very important, what's first, what's second, where is it getting done, and how is it getting done. How is it then measured? That's the control part of it. What are you trying to achieve? I mean, where do you actually want to go? And I think that's very important that your targets are specified. Measuring what actually happened, how far are you along the way, and always, always, always there needs to be one person responsible for measuring and then making changes along the way to actually get there. So that is really important. If you don't have a personal name, it needs to be a function, so it's crystal clear how this plan that you have get executed. What you could utilize then is a Gantt chart, and this is an example of a Gantt chart that I found on the internet. It has a task description, what needs to get done. It shows in how many days this activity needs to get done. So this is a recruitment process. Receive inquiries and further information. That takes 10 days. You see it's blocked here in 10 days over from week 1 to week 6. And a Gantt chart is like a waterfall. It goes down from the top throughout the activities. You cannot do everything at the same time, so naturally you do one after the other, and because the next activity starts, it's in the next week, it trickles down basically down to here. Now the key is to do as much as you can in a simultaneous fashion, and that's the same thing with writing the marketing plan. You want to already think about implementation and build your hypothesis while you do some analysis. You don't want to just do analysis here for 5 weeks and then write the strategy and implementation. That's not going to get you a good plan, and that's also not going to help you, because often you will have to redo a lot of this. It's very iterative, and you have to redo a lot of analysis or go in a different direction, focus on different data sets. And if you haven't thought things through and you can only do the survey once, then you're really basically out of luck if you didn't think about all the questions you needed to ask. Another way of doing a Gantt chart, and a much more sophisticated and detailed way. This is now done in Excel. Here we can have again what are the tasks. These tasks are categorized in category 1 and 2 and giving some numbers. Who is the lead? When do they start? When do they end? What is the duration in days? So that's an automatic formula. How much is completed? That is also automatically corrected here. How many working days does that include? How many days are complete out of that? And how many days are remaining? And then it is graphed down here, more or less automatically. You see here the little arrows. That means somebody made a fixed frame, and you can scroll throughout the time frame, and then everything's going to move left and right. So it's very sophisticated, and you can actually download very advanced Gantt charts on the internet. When it comes to control and metrics, marketing has a very bad reputation as being a science that you cannot really measure, you cannot really be as concrete as in operations or finance, and it is true because marketing is dealing with uncertainties of the market and the external environment and translating that into concrete product and service requirements. So it's in the middle of two worlds. However, the times that marketing is just guesswork or magic is long time over. Now with online marketing even more so. Here you can really totally measure Google Analytics. Again, I don't want to get too much into that, but I can recommend you one book that is the Marketing Metrics, 50 marketing metrics every executive should master. You in my class will get a summary of that. I will make that available to you. Just highlights what I think is important for your marketing plan, but I think for any marketing people that is a well worth investment to buy. And here are some of the KPIs for external. We're talking about awareness, we're talking about market share, relative price, distribution, loyalty. Here are some of the KPIs that you can measure externally, internally, and we talked about some of these already in the analysis part of the marketing plan. And that is the end of the part. How to contact me? You can contact me on LinkedIn under Thorsten Strauss. I am part of OpenLink, so you can contact me for free. You can find me on Twitter to read some of my marketing feeds actually of Twitter. I post them there, as well as on LinkedIn. You can contact me at the University of Antwerpen, Thorsten.Strauss at uantwerpen.be, uantwerpen one word, or under Thorsten.Strauss at how2mkt for market, how2mkt.com. What is my background a little bit? Actually, my tagline is I have 3 worlds experience, meaning highlighting the unique background that I have worked as a marketeer in an industrial setting, including on executive level as part of management. I have worked as consultant or work as consultant still under projects, and I work as lecturer, so combining 3 different types of perspectives on marketing and the challenges of marketing, which is I think unique. Then I am German born, educated in the United States, and educated at Copenhagen Business School with an MBA. I worked and lived in the United States for 8 years. I worked and lived in Europe for 20 something years, 22 years. I worked and lived, not lived, but I worked in the Middle East for over a year very extensively, and I also have done some business and experience in Asia, exposure there with some of the studies at Tsinghua University, the Harvard of China, as well as, of course, production units and suppliers in Asia. I was a product manager in the start of my career, and then marketing manager and global marketing director. I led several projects, numerous projects actually. The 3 most relevant for this class would be a market penetration project, a geographic expansion project, and a global portfolio optimization project. So I'm quite familiar with project planning, and my expertise and core competence is actually strategic planning, strategic process management, and ownership.